January 27, 2026. This is a passionate, intense day because it is the day of Mars conjunct Pluto. And I'm going to be talking about something that is related to the video I made yesterday. I did a kind of a reaction video to how my day went as Neptune entered Aries and just some of my thoughts and feelings. And of course, whenever somebody does that on the internet, you open yourself to all sorts of other perspectives and opinions. And the comments have been super interesting. And there's one or two that I kind of want to address because I feel like it's a really good time to do that and potentially use it as a model to open conversation, to open dialogue, to open discussion instead of conflict. So that's kind of what we're doing in this video today. First, I'm going to tell you what is going on. What is this Mars-Pluto thing? Anytime two planets conjoin, they start new cycles together. And every single planet has a relationship with all the other ones. You can see why this is so complex. Reality is complex because there's about a million stories happening at once. And all these stories are also coming, filtering through humans. And so it's a mandala, it's a kaleidoscope of experiences. Mars and Pluto meet every 2 years, and that sets up this 2 year story. The Sabian symbol for Pluto, this period, and all of its resets, which are very rare, that it's happening boom, 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 boom with all these personal planets, super rare. That is a Hindu yogi demonstrates his healing powers, healing yourself of imbalances. And sometimes, in order to heal, things have to get really intense. They have to get really difficult. They have to go all the way down to the roots and the bones of situations, under the dirt of situations, to understand what the reality is and then build up from there. Let's break this down a little bit more because it really stands out that it's going to be at the beginning of Aquarius. Pluto's a long residency there. It's kind of like Las Vegas when an artist goes there and has a residency. It's a long time. Pluto's going to be living there in Aquarius. And Mars will meet every 2 years with Pluto there. Action, conflict, it's going to be tightly linked to our collective systems, our ideology, technology, human organization, group organization, humanitarian ideals, technology. And that's how action is taken, how courage operates, how conflict is engaged, but also in a deeper power. What's this deeper power structure? What needs to be brought up from the underbelly, from those secretive places that are a little bit dark and seedy? What needs to be exposed? What needs to be fought for? What needs to be changed through courage? Okay. So whenever these two planets meet, the energy is going to concentrate and the purpose will sharpen. And we can use this for the greater good. That's the point. That's always what I'm trying to do. You know, I'm not a receptacle of truth. I'm just another person trying to figure stuff out. And I use astrology to do it the best way that I can do as a singular perspective person, right? So this conjunction opens up multiple perspectives, however. As Mars moves forward over this period in the months ahead into the next 2 years, Mars and Pluto will make these different activations with each other. They're going to go through some easy aspects. They're going to go through some very hard aspects. We're going to get a first square, and that will be intense. That'll happen in about 6 months. And then we're going to get full Mars versus Pluto, the opposition. That'll happen in about a year. Then we'll get a closing square. That's in about a year and a half. And then they'll conjoin again in 2 years. So you see, those are going to be our difficult times. Authority and control are going to be actively contested in these Mars-Pluto hard aspects. I'll read to you from Ren Butler just because that's what I love to do. Love to read to you from this book, The Archetypal Universe. And his conjunction of Mars and Pluto gives us the principles of intense willpower and courage, drive and passion, determined efforts towards renewal and regeneration, volcanic catharsis, tendencies towards brute force and ruthlessness, overexertion, pushing too hard. It's potentially all of those things at once. There's some catharsis that comes through, and there's this high level version, like the ultimate highest expression and vibration of Mars Pluto, and there is the lowest level of vibration. And the way best to work with this is to try to aim our arrow towards the higher vibration. That's the best we can do. So I wanted to respond to a comment or two from the last video, just because I know if a couple people say it, then there's probably a higher percentage of people who think it and just don't take the time to say it. But there's some feedback that I got on the video yesterday where I referenced slavery in 1861. And just because today is the Mars-Pluto conjunction, it's like, yep, we should probably talk about that. It makes it a relevant conversation. So I'm going to read to you the comment, and then I'm going to sort of parse through my response to it, and then have something hopefully a little bit practical to go forward. So this person said, I appreciate what you're trying to do in terms of your experience with sharing your mindset shift with regard to enslaved people in the United States. But it is very, very, very clear that the fact that you would even say anything about a bell curve with regard to enslaved people's narratives is extremely, extremely problematic. This person next says, you're missing a whole deeply important framework perspective analysis of the complexity of psychology as it relates to enslaved people and what we absolutely can extrapolate from their narratives, and also what science psychology tells us about what was going on for them at that time. Not to mention spiritually, and not to mention the massive generational outfall and byproducts of that time. For you to think that you can have any sort of depth of understanding of any of that based on one first person book is quite scary, and you need to very much rethink that. Please, please do not encourage white people to oversimplify that history and experience from just reading one first person narrative book. Please, that is so dangerous. Okay. Okay. Mars Pluto, baby, Mars Pluto. I was not ever saying that it wasn't a violent or immoral or unjust experience of being a slave. Slave was bad, slavery bad. We all can agree on that. The point is that there's a human reality inside of that system, and all of the books, all of the things I've studied, all the movies I see are similar. It's like there's no accounting for other people's experiences. Like I had no idea that Native Americans in Oklahoma owned slaves. Completely new information to me. A lot of the things in this book opened my mind to a broader perspective of lived experience, okay? And so a comment like that is valid, but it's also assumptive. You're assuming a lot. And let me be clear about this. This is very Neptune and Aries. One person's perspective, one book can absolutely change everything. Even one of these stories could absolutely change. But when you put the 100 of them together, you have a broader perspective. And yes, it's valuable because it opened me up to wanting to learn more. And there are horrendous, horrendous experiences in here. Okay. I get it. There are some experiences that aren't. And it doesn't excuse the system, but it describes it. The scope and knowledge and experience that we have is so limited because we're a limited being. We are one person. And we can only do our best to understand and expand. And how? Through dialogue, through discourse, through sharing our experience. Another person added on, said, thank you. I hope she sees this comment and takes it to heart. I was frankly taken aback by what I heard in this video. Much more knowledge and understanding needed to be gained regarding this topic before speaking on it, because whatever research was done obviously did not provide much. I feel her opinion was already set on it, though, to be honest. I don't know what the opinion is, because honestly, my opinion was every slave had a horrifying worst case scenario experience, and this showed me a different side. And I haven't had that experience yet. So it's actually just the opposite. My opinion was opened. So I take it all to heart. I take it all to heart, and I appreciate this opportunity to express something out. And I know this is probably it's going to be controversial, whatever. It's okay. It's Mars Pluto day. It's fine. Neptune in Aries gives us strength to share these things. But here's what I want to add, that potentially, if you come into these experiences, it's for me as well, to bring forth, if you want to have a dialogue or a discourse with somebody, here are a few suggestions that I came up with based on this experience. Number one is to refrain as much as possible from making quick assumptions about people's beliefs or experiences or what they have or haven't done. Because when you disagree and make an assumption, you're applying your own bias, you're applying your own lived experience and your filter onto that person. And that's not fair. Number two, ask for clarification. Ask questions. Say, hey, have you considered this or that? This book is really good. I see you've read that one. Maybe you would like to have more experience. Number three, find common ground and something that you can start from. Hey, we're both kind of interested in this subject. We seem like we have diverse opinions. Let's see, what do we both agree on? Slavery bad? Yeah, okay, let's start from there. Then number four, share your experience, share your knowledge, your perspective. See if someone's open to a new idea or view. Number five, be open to their experience as well, their perspective without a predetermination that they are wrong or stupid or limited or I had to stop because I got a little heated there. Okay, following this protocol in the end, there's a lot more option. There's a lot more opportunity for growth and expansion. And I do want to say thank you to the people in the comments who take the time to share their thoughts, their opinions, their experiences. It was a wide range. Yeah, surprise, surprise. Some people felt tired, some people felt invigorated, some people felt a weight lifted off their shoulders, some people felt like lying down, some people felt spiritually expanded. We're all going to come through in a different way. But when we share all of our differences, we see how beautiful that makes the world. It makes a spectacularly beautiful place to be in this human experience and not matching, matchy, matchy. We can be different. That's what astrology is teaching us. Okay. Whew, soapbox today. That being said, if you have any clarification or comments on what I've said today, I'll do my best to follow my own advice, refrain from making assumptions, ask questions for clarification, and find a common ground to start from. All right. I like you just the way you are. Good luck today. It's going to be fine. It'll all be okay. All right. I'll talk to you soon.